Focus is a weapon. Use it. Focus isn't something you turn on when it's convenient. Focus is a choice. It's a discipline. It's a laser that cuts through distraction, noise, and excuses. Everyone talks about talent, speed, strength, or skill, but none of that matters without focus. You can have all the tools in the world, but if your mind is scattered, if your attention drifts, if your priorities wobble, those tools are useless. Focus is what separates the great from the average, the consistent from the inconsistent, the relentless from the distracted. Focus is a deliberate choice and a disciplined weapon, not a passive state. It is not something that happens automatically when you feel like it or when the conditions are perfect. True focus is forged, trained, and defended. It demands intention and awareness because the world is designed to scatter your attention at every turn, every notification, every distraction, every small interruption is an enemy of your concentration. You don't stumble into focus by chance. You create it. You build it. You protect it like a weapon because, in the pursuit of excellence, that is exactly what it is. A tool to dominate, to elevate, to win. Focus starts with awareness. The first step is understanding where your attention is going. Most people float through their day reacting to whatever pulls at them. They respond to emails, messages, social media, noise, opinions, and immediate gratification. Their energy is divided, their mind fragmented. Talent alone cannot overcome this scattering. Skill alone cannot compensate for a distracted mind. Focus is the amplifier that makes potential meaningful. It channels every ounce of energy into a single direction, ensuring that your actions are precise, deliberate, and effective. But awareness is not enough. Focus requires choice. Every day, every hour, every minute, you are faced with a decision to engage fully with what matters or to allow your attention to drift. Choosing focus means saying no to comfort, to entertainment, to easy distractions. It means turning down the temptation to be busy without being productive. It means prioritizing what will actually move you forward over what feels good in the moment. This is not convenient. This is not easy. This is the cost of mastery, and those who understand it embrace it without compromise. Focus also requires discipline. Discipline is the backbone of every great achievement, and focus is its sharp edge. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when your body screams for rest. Discipline is what makes you practice the fundamentals when they feel boring, when repetition seems endless. Discipline is what allows you to maintain clarity when everything around you is chaos. Without discipline, focus becomes fleeting, fragile, and unreliable. With discipline, focus becomes a weapon that can slice through distraction and opposition with precision. The weapon of focus is sharpened in isolation. It grows stronger in quiet moments when no one is watching, when there is no applause, when there is nothing to validate your efforts. While others are seeking attention, praise, and shortcuts, the focused individual is building skill, reinforcing habits, and strengthening the mind. Every hour spent honing focus when it goes unnoticed compounds into an advantage that cannot be matched. It's invisible work, but it is the foundation of visible success. Focus requires clarity of purpose. A weapon is only effective when aimed at a target, and a mind without direction is like a weapon without aim. You must know what you are pursuing. You must understand what matters most, and you must ruthlessly dedicate your attention to it. Half-hearted effort, scattered attempts, or divided attention will never create excellence. Focus demands that you eliminate the noise, ignore the irrelevant, and zero in on the task, the goal, the mission. This is how small, deliberate actions accumulate into unstoppable momentum. Focus is also a test of endurance. The mind will resist, distractions will tempt you, comfort will seduce you into inaction. Fear, doubt, and fatigue will attempt to pull you away from the path. But focus is a weapon precisely because it allows you to push through these obstacles. Each moment you resist distraction strengthens it. Each moment you double down on your attention reinforces it. Over time, the consistent practice of focus builds mental toughness that cannot be shaken by external pressures. Focus is amplified by eliminating excuses. Excuses are the enemy of clarity, the barrier between intention and action. A focused mind refuses excuses. It refuses to negotiate with failure. It does not wait for perfect conditions, for ideal circumstances, or for the approval of others. It acts decisively, intentionally, and relentlessly. Every time you choose to act despite discomfort, despite doubt, despite inconvenience, You are sharpening your weapon, reinforcing your skill, and investing in outcomes that others will envy but cannot replicate without the same dedication. Focus transforms energy into results. Talent without focus dissipates. Effort without focus is wasted. Time without focus slips through your fingers. But focus channels everything, your skill, your effort, your energy, your time, into a precise, unstoppable force. It makes your actions count. It turns small advantages into large ones. It turns preparation into dominance. It turns potential into reality. Focus is a deliberate choice. Focus is discipline. Focus is a weapon. And like any weapon, it must be wielded with intention, sharpened through practice, protected from compromise, and applied relentlessly. It is not a state of convenience or comfort. It is not an accident or a temporary burst of concentration. It is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve, between the ordinary and the extraordinary, between potential wasted and greatness realized. Every moment you choose distraction, you weaken your weapon. Every moment you protect your attention, you strengthen it. Every day you invest in focus, you are building a tool more powerful than talent, more reliable than motivation, more unstoppable than chance. This is the reality of mastery, the truth behind every achievement, and the edge that separates winners from the rest. Focus is a deliberate choice and a disciplined weapon. Use it relentlessly, sharpen it constantly, and wield it without hesitation, because nothing else will give you the precision, the power, and the advantage necessary to dominate at the highest level. Protect your attention from distraction and dedicate it fully to your priorities. Attention is your most valuable resource, yet it is constantly under assault. The world is desert. Begin to fragment your focus, to pull you in countless directions at once. Every notification, every noise, every opinion, every temptation is trying to steal your energy. If you allow your attention to scatter, no amount of talent, skill, or effort will matter. Protecting your attention is the foundation of performance, the secret behind every great achievement, and the difference between those who reach their potential and those who drift through life without direction. Protection begins with awareness. You must know what steals your attention and why. Most people react to stimuli instead of controlling it. They scroll, they check, they react without thought, and they mistake movement for progress. True progress requires conscious management of attention. You decide what deserves your focus and what doesn't. You separate signal from noise. You prioritize what matters most and let the rest fade into irrelevance. Protecting your attention is not about isolation. It is about strategic alignment of energy to what produces results. Attention is finite. Every moment wasted on distraction is a moment you cannot reclaim. Every diverted thought is a lost opportunity, and yet most people treat attention as if it were unlimited. They give it away freely to entertainment, gossip, social media, and meaningless tasks. Protecting attention means valuing it as the non-renewable resource it is. It means understanding that what you allow into your mind shapes your actions, decisions, and ultimately your life. To dedicate attention fully to priorities, you must define them clearly. You cannot protect what you cannot identify. Every great performance, every extraordinary achievement, every record-breaking success begins with clarity about what truly matters. When priorities are clear, attention becomes a weapon. You can aim it precisely, eliminating wasted motion, wasted thought, wasted energy. Without priorities, attention drifts and effort scatters. Discipline becomes difficult, results become unpredictable, and progress slows. Protecting attention is inseparable from knowing what your mission is. Distraction is constant, relentless, and seductive. Comfort, entertainment, social validation, curiosity, and even routine tasks all compete for your attention. The human mind craves novelty and ease. That craving is a trap for the undisciplined. The person who succeeds is not the one who avoids distraction completely. They cannot, but the one who recognizes distraction, resists it, and redirects energy toward meaningful action. This requires training, awareness, and the willingness to feel discomfort without surrendering. Protecting attention also means building boundaries. Boundaries with people, technology, and environment. It is about deciding when to say no, when to step away, when to block out noise, when to enter isolation. Boundaries are not selfish, they are strategic. Every great performer understands that attention is power, and power must be guarded. You cannot operate at full capacity if your focus is diluted. Boundaries create the conditions necessary for deep work, for deliberate practice, and for sustained progress. Attention is also a multiplier. When your mind is fully focused, your effort, skill, and time compound. Small actions performed with undivided attention create massive results over time. In contrast, scattered attention diminishes the impact of every effort. 1 hour of distracted practice is nothing compared to 30 minutes of pure, undistracted, high-intensity focus. Protecting attention is not about quantity of work, it is about quality of presence. It is about fully committing to each task as if it is the only thing that matters. The discipline to protect attention carries a cost. You must resist the temptation to be entertained, to be distracted, to respond instantly, to chase novelty. You must feel the discomfort of isolation, of quiet, of mental effort without external stimulation. That discomfort is the price of dominance. Every person who rises above the rest understands that focus and attention are non-negotiable, and that sacrifices in these areas determine outcomes far more than talent or luck. Protecting attention also builds resilience. When you train your mind to stay committed to priorities despite external chaos, internal resistance, or fatigue, you develop mental toughness. You learn to remain calm under pressure. You learn to ignore what doesn't matter. You learn to act decisively. Attention, when protected, allows you to see clearly, move efficiently, and execute with precision. It is a skill that compounds over time, just like practice and effort. Attention shapes identity. The more you protect it, the more disciplined you become. The more disciplined you become, the stronger your decisions, actions, and results. Protecting attention is not just a tactical choice. It is a strategic one. It defines the trajectory of your life, because what you give your mind determines what you achieve. Neglect it, and distractions dictate your path. Guard it, and you control your destiny. Dedicate our attention fully to your priorities, and every action becomes intentional. Every decision becomes aligned with your goals. Every effort compounds. Protecting your attention is not optional for those who aspire to greatness. It is mandatory. The people who rise above the rest understand this, and they fight for it relentlessly. Every notification ignored, every distraction resisted, every moment of focus defended is another step toward mastery, another brick in the foundation of excellence, another demonstration that attention, once protected and fully dedicated, is a weapon that cannot. Consistent, precise focus multiplies talent, effort, and results beyond ordinary limits. Talent alone is meaningless without the sharp application of attention. Effort alone is wasted without direction. Time alone is futile without intention. Focus is the amplifier that transforms what is ordinary into something extraordinary. Every champion, every leader, every person who dominates in their field has mastered the art of focus. They understand that skill, strength, and intelligence are secondary to the ability to concentrate, to narrow the mind to the task, and to execute with precision over and over, without distraction, without compromise, without hesitation. Focus magnifies everything it touches. A person of average talent can outperform the most gifted individual if their attention is unbroken and deliberate. The opposite is also true. Extraordinary talent dissipates without focus, scattered like water poured across a cracked floor. Focus channels effort into a straight line, eliminating wasted motion, wasted thought, wasted energy. It is the difference between someone who works hard and someone who works smart, between someone who participates and someone who dominates. Every repetition, every decision, every moment of attention applied with precision compounds over time into unstoppable results. Consistency and focus is what creates mastery. It is not enough to be focused occasionally on a whim or when conditions are ideal. The mind must be trained to return day after day to deliberate attention on the task that matters most. This is uncomfortable. It is difficult. It requires sacrificing entertainment, distraction, and convenience. Most people give up when focus becomes challenging. Most people drift. But those who endure, those who maintain precision in their attention, even when it is painful, even when it is inconvenient, even when there is no immediate reward, are the ones who multiply their results exponentially. Focus also transforms small actions into massive outcomes. A single hour of undivided, concentrated work is worth far more than 10 hours of half-hearted effort. The brain, the body, and the habits respond to the intensity and precision of attention. Repetition without focus is meaningless repetition. Effort without direction is wasted. Time without intent is squandered. When focus is precise, every action is optimized, every movement calculated, every decision aligned with the goal. The compound effect is unstoppable. The momentum is undeniable. What seems impossible to others becomes inevitable to those who apply consistent, precise focus. The mind naturally resists focus. Distraction is easier. Comfort is seductive. Noise is pervasive. Pleasure tempts the weak. Laziness masquerades as rest. Fear and doubt constantly try to steal your attention. That is why focus is a weapon. It requires struggle, training, and discipline to wield effectively. Every time you overcome distraction, every time you return to the task at hand, every time you maintain intensity despite resistance, you strengthen the weapon. Precision becomes second nature. Discipline becomes instinct. And once this level of focus consistency is achieved, results multiply in ways that are impossible for anyone else to replicate without the same commitment. Focus also amplifies clarity. When the mind is precise and unwavering, it becomes capable of seeing opportunities, threats, and patterns that others cannot. Decisions are faster, execution sharper, and strategy more effective. A distracted mind misses the subtlety of the game. A precise mind controls it. The difference between winning and losing is often determined not by raw talent, but by who can maintain attention under pressure, who can prioritize effectively, who can act decisively when distractions abound. Focus creates awareness. Focus creates control. Focus creates advantage. Every great achievement is built on repeated, precise attention to what matters most. It is the compound effect of consistent, deliberate focus over time. A single moment of brilliance cannot replace years of concentrated effort. 1 hour of undistracted attention is worth more than countless hours of scattered work. The difference between ordinary results and extraordinary dominance is the ability to harness the mind relentlessly. Day after day, task after task, decision after decision, with unbroken precision, focus multiplies accountability. When you commit fully to the task, when your attention is sharp, when every action is deliberate, you hold yourself to higher standards. Mistakes become lessons, failure becomes feedback, and performance improves exponentially. Focus also teaches patience. Results are never instantaneous, but precise, consistent effort compounds, and the longer it is applied, the greater the payoff. The impact of focused action grows until it becomes unstoppable, until it overwhelms competition, until it becomes the defining factor between those who achieve and those who merely aspire. Focus is a weapon, but like any weapon, it must be wielded with intention, consistency, and discipline. It multiplies every skill, every effort, and every resource you have. It transforms ordinary practice into mastery, ordinary work into dominance, ordinary potential into extraordinary reality. The people who rise above the rest are not necessarily the most talented or the strongest. They are the ones who have mastered the art of consistent, precise focus. They know where to direct their energy, how to guard their attention, and how to apply it relentlessly. Every choice to ignore distraction, every moment spent concentrating fully on the task, every decision to maintain mental clarity is an investment that compounds into extraordinary results. This is how the impossible becomes possible. This is how talent is multiplied. This is how effort becomes unstoppable. Focus is not passive. Focus is not occasional. Focus is deliberate, precise, and relentless. And when wielded consistently, it multiplies talent, effort, and results far beyond ordinary limits, creating dominance that cannot be challenged, defeated, or ignored, matched, or replaced.